Right, Sunday Fun Day is almost set to get underway. This is the boring part when nothing's going on and everyone's going, why is that guy in the white shirt walking forward and backwards? I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's gone crazy. Maybe he's preparing for a stand-up comedy routine. Maybe not.
It's the part where I'm listening to the radio, so I'm on mute. And I hear you blabbing away. Hi.
Blah, blah, blah. That's me.
Blah, 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 blah.
John, blah, blah.
Because if I do, then Kirsten's going to say, don't forget to go on mute. It's like I was on mute. And then I unmuted to say hello, but you can hear my radio. Now you say I have to be on mute. I get it. I get
so
it.
Complicated. It is.
That is.
Mute, unmute, mute.
All right. So who's here? Just me? Look at that.
Yeah, I don't even have a.
And Kirsten.
Oh, my
Well,
God.
there
Here's
you
the
go.
princess.
The important people are here.
Yes.
Mark's doing it later because he didn't want to wake up because of the time change.
Talk about Princess Yoga.
And then Anne's coming back on Tuesday. She'll be in Tuesday's class.
And Val's in
Okay.
Vietnam.
Perfect.
Well-
Okay, I'm gonna mute because you'll wonder why there's radio going on.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Well, Sunday Fun Day is underway. We're going to get started by coming to the center parts of our mat. We're going to bring our feet. I'm going to turn our toes outward today. So we have a exterior rotation going on through the legs. I like to use those cue points. Now I'd like you to bring some straightness to the legs. And then from the base of your spine, from the pelvic girdle, actually, I want you to imagine each and every vertebrae of your spine lengthening up. And the same thing with the cervical or neck itself. I like you to take your shoulders up. I like you to take your palms and rotate them backwards today. And then draw your arms backwards. So take them kind of opening through the chest. Take a big inhale. On the exhale, I'd like you to bend both knees and then let them push over the toes and come down as deep as you can and then stand back up. Now we're going to add the arms into this. So we're going to switch the palms to face forward, rise up, and then flip the palms back and sweep the arms all the way back. We're going to go through a couple iterations of this, actually more than a couple. Couples two. This is going to be a few. Those words rhyme. I don't know if it's for a reason or not, but hey, we're just going underway. Now, everyone meet in the down position. Let the arms kind of extend forward. Let the shoulders drift forward too. And then draw the shoulders back and then widen the shoulders out. See if you can raise the arms just a little bit more. Stand tall. Step the toes forward. Inhale. Reach for the sky. That old adage our parents always used to tell us, reach for the sky, set your dreams high. Take a big inhale, and as you exhale, fold it all the way down. As your fingertips alight upon the floor or your best version thereof, I'd like you to inhale and extend to a flat back, and then let the spine go into flexion. Let's hang out for a few moments. While we're here, let's bend the knees and then straighten them. And do that a few more times. Try to facilitate movement today with breath. Inhaling as you rise, exhaling as you lower. And then let's everyone meet in the relative straight leg position, reminding everyone that we're still warming up. Let's draw the body backwards until you feel more of a predominant weights in the heels. As in the inhale, comes to a flat back, and as you exhale, fold back down, drift back ever so slightly more, walk the hands forward more, and then inhale, extend, exhale, fold, and do that one more time, and hold in the extended position. Let's draw the hands, the palms in particular, back onto the shins, and give me a deeper knee bend, and see if you can drift the weight back ever so slightly more, without toppling, of course. Now, if your elbows are rotated internally, externally rotate them, push the palms, extend the spine, keep the spine extending, and just like a chop point in the hips, we're going to unhinge, so that all the other joints remain relatively the same. So my knees have my palms upon them. Hopefully yours are the same position right now. Find it if you don't. And then I like to kind of just bounce up and down slightly in this position. And then hold the bounce, let the hands release forward. As you inhale, stand tall, reach for the stars. Inhale, exhale, fold. When your fingers are light upon the mat, walk them forward and step your feet back. Short way of saying that is get into plank. Now, push through the shoulders so that the shoulder socket itself is forward in the body. It's by the front part of the body. And then let your body kind of sink, keeping the arms relatively straight, and feel the breath of the shoulders kind of widen out. Hold that breath if you pull your hips upward and backward to down dog. High to the tippy toes. Heels drive to the earth. Keep the heels driving to the earth as you drift back into your plank pose, and then lower the knees. Separate them the width of the mat, and step your heel and ball of each big toe together, and drift the hips backwards.
This feels good.
Yeah, it's
My
nice.
legs are so stiff.
Pre-game, pre-warm-up, if you will, or actually not pre-warm, it is warm-up. Back, back, back with the hips. Walk the hands forward. Using the baby fingers to hinge, rotate the palm to face the sky on the right hand, and then back to earth, then switch to the opposite side. And just oscillate between the 2 points. Sometimes I use the word alternate, and then sometimes oscillate. And this is really more of an oscillation, and kind of moving rhythmically between 2 sides. And then both palms are met back on the mat. We're going to raise the upper body and step the hands underneath the shoulders. We're going to push through everything so that the shoulder sockets are well forward. And then we're going to sink the body so that the shoulders expand and widen out. Hold them from side to side. Take the back of the head, pull it to the sky. And now take your belly button and hollow it out. Let the back go into flexion. And this is primarily the upper back. We want that nice flex state. Pubic area is tucking under. I want to feel that nice opening along the spinal column. And then we're going to reverse that by pushing the chest through the arms, flipping the tailbone to the sky, and pulling the back of the head in the same direction as the tailbone. And then hollow out the belly and reverse this whole movement. Let the head kind of force its way down. Tuck the tailbone under, pull hard, push hard, and then come back to neutral spine. Step your feet out so that they're in line with your knees. Make sure your toes are tucked under as we gently lift the knees up off the earth and then lower them down and oscillate between these two, moving rhythmically with breath. And then everyone meet in the knee up position. Drive both heels to the earth. As your hips rise up, we're going into a modified or short down dog, short stance down dog, that is. Push high to the tippy toes. Drive those heels back down to the earth. Do that a few more times. And then when you're ready, step the feet forward. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, keep the back in extension, drift those hips back. You might find now that the knees are able to be a little more open, obtuse. As you exhale this time, fold. And on the next breath in, unfold it, sweep the hands to the sky. Kind of like a reverse swan dive. Reach it high. And then bring hands over heart. Sunday fun day is underway. Let's take the right foot and step it forward, left foot steps back. We're in a lunge position with proper separation for our balance of the feet side to side. We're going to lean in, and before we do that, actually, let's clear my throat. Let's think about what's going on in that right foot. The ball of that right big toe is connected, so we haven't rolled externally. That knee's tracking in the line. And I want you to feel more pressure in the ball of the big toe today. So I'd like you to take that, pressurize it, turn it in, keep it active, fold forward with a long spine. So we're not relenting and giving into this and letting the upper body kind of round in. We're keeping it nice and long. Now, we're going to change the orientation of pull. We're going to engage some more of the posterior muscles by asking ourselves to pull the heel of that right foot back towards the big toe of the left foot. Try to pull it. And then put the ball of the big toe back in action. That's that front foot. And then take the heel and pull together. And then come back to the ball of the big foot. And then one more time, pull that heel. See if that leg is pulling hard. You can feel those hammies working, or the hammy in the right leg, of course. And then relax that. Stand tall. Keep in the same position. Push your hands to the sky. Nice. Now, reach high. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, hold on this. And let's make sure now, like if your back foot is kind of oriented where the heel is pointing in some funny direction, make sure it's pointing straight up as best you can. Take the heel of that left foot, drive it down to the earth. It may not go there, but that's the direction you want it to be in. See if you can straighten out that back leg. Push back up into the toes of the left foot, and then drive the heel back down, and then push back up, drive it back down, and then this time as you push up, bring hands over heart, step forward, sweep it, step it, and then change sides. Nice. Now, that front foot, same kind of orientation. The ball of the big foot, or the ball of the big toe of the big foot, that's a ancient thing, is connected. We're going to lean forward, spine long. Nice. Now, take the left heel, pull it to the right toe. And then bring the ball of that big toe, left foot back in action. And then pull the heel. And then relax. And then pull the heel. And then relax and come to an upright position. Making sure that the right heel is aiming to the sky. Push the hands to the sky. Take the right heel, drive it to the earth. Oops. See, this is where balance comes into play. Push back up. Drive it back down. Push it back up. And then back down, and then push back up, and bring hands over heart, step the back foot forward. With hands over heart, fold halfway forward. And then rise back up, and lower, and rise. Now, a lot of times this is met with the shoulders rounding forward when we go down. Try to keep the shoulders opening wide as you lower the upper body, and keep them wide as you rise up. Try it a couple more times. It's just a variation on an exercise we call good morning, but this is an even better morning, of course. Now, everyone meet in the standing position. I know, a little corny. Take your arms, push them forward. I've separated my feet a little wider than hip width. I urge you to do the same. And make sure we have an alignment of toes aiming straight forward as we pull our butt back and lower down into a squat-like position. We're going to hold here. Now, as we hold, I want you to kind of work on some muscle cueing. Now, a lot of times we like to have the knees forward. There's nothing wrong with doing that. However, I want to load the posterior muscles a little more. So I'd like you to drip back the hips as best you can. Using the arms to kind of form a cantilever, a little bit of weight out in front. Now, as we hold out, see if you can come down a little more, pull back a little more, and as you pull back, don't meet this with a rotation back of the tailbone. I want you to keep the spine stabilized and get down a little more. Now, sweep the arms down and back and sweep them forward and up. And continue on that. Use breath for the movement. Inhaling as the arms rise and exhaling as they lower. Up, back, up and hold. Lower those buttons a little more. Stand tall and fold it all the way down. Inhale, extend to a flat back. Exhale, fold the upper body. Enjoy that lower back release and stretch. Inhale, extend. Bend both knees. Palms to the shin, elbows externally rotated. Push the palms to extend the spine. Lower that butt. Now, keep the hips low. Keep the bend in the ankles and the knees the same. We're going to open up through the hips. We're going to raise the upper body. Everything else remains the same. Palms are on the kneecaps. Bounce up and down. Hold the bounce. Sweep the arms forward. Lower a little deeper. Rise back up. Sweep and reach for the sky. Exhale. Relax the arms. Draw the shoulders up. Open the palms to face forward. Take your thumbs and externally rotate them. Take your thumbs and then reverse that. Turn them inward. Run them all the way back. I call this corkscrewing the arms. Let's do it a few more times. And then hold the palms facing forward. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, raise the palms to the sky. Now, if you're bent through the elbows, try to extend.
Parallel to the floor, not the sky. This is the sky.
Yeah, the palms are facing the sky.
The palm.
Yeah, the palms. Arms are shoulder height.
Okay.
Thought I cued that pretty well. Anyways,
Let's
let's
argue.
open the shoulders. Yeah, we're having a domestic right now. Sweep the thumbs backwards. Bring the baby fingers to touch. Bring the forearms to touch. This is Kirsten's favorite movement. I hate it because my shoulders kill. And then sweep back open, extend the arms straight. Imagine there's a string on all your fingers pulling arms away from the body. Forearms connect, sweep it all the way back out. Now, let's put some other movement into it. Lower and raise and lower and raise
Oh, it's stuck.
and lower. It's stuck. And raise up, hold up, sweep the arms to the sky, fold all the way down, step it back to plank. All right, plank pose. Nice. Now, push through the plank. So I want you to see if you can get the shoulder capsules to move to the front part of the body. And then I'd like you to reverse that. Let the chest kind of descend in between the arms. Try to keep that back of the head level, up high, long though. So we're not craning or looking forward with the chin. We have just like normal look down at the earth, but the back of the head lifting to the sky. Neck is long, not compressed. Lower the knees down onto the mat. Draw the hips backwards. Child's pose. So this is a narrow leg version of child pose that I'm wearing right now.
You probably can't hear it.
And then while we're in this narrow leg child pose, I like to make sure we're going to kind of work a little bit of ankle mobility. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to just flip the toes so that the back or top of the feet is now touching the mat. Now, if this has caused you to cramp up a little bit,
Drink more water.
drink more water. Exactly. Now let's bring the big toes together and separate the knees a little wide as the mat, and then let the hips drift back towards the feet. You should feel a nice pull right along those shin muscles. Those are the shin splint muscles.
Inner thighs.
And then also, yeah, there's a lot of things going on.
Mm.
Absolutely. So without talking about all the muscles, just enjoy it.
Mhm.
And let's start to rise up from this. If we rise up and separate the feet to the width of your knees stance. And then let's push through with the arms so the shoulder capsules are forward on the anterior part of our body. Let's push the chest through the arms relatively straight. So we have shoulder blades rotating externally. Feel the breadth or the width of the arms, the shoulder to shoulder, wider. Let's hollow out the belly and tuck the tailbone under. So we're kind of like making a very pronounced activation of spinal extension. From this point now, let's draw the middle of the spine to the sky, let the head kind of tuck under. And then reverse this, push through the chest, flip the tailbone, pull the back of the head to the sky, hollow out the belly. And then make it all neutral. Feel like you're just kind of in a standing position, although you're facing the earth. Let's float the knees up and above the earth. We're going to keep the right knee right in spot. And you're going to take the left foot and slide it backwards. And then if you can, try to lift it up off the earth. And then lower back down. Bring that left knee back, still floating, and then push the right foot back and lift the right foot up. And then return it back to its spot, and then alternate side to side. Sliding back, lifting up, setting back in place. And then everyone meets, knees hovering, knees lowered. Walk back the hands and come up into a kneeling position. Hi! Now, take your chest, proud it out. Take your arms, sweep them backwards. Take your butt lower slightly, not down onto the heels. Take a big breath in, sweep the arms forward, shoulder height, palms are facing. Rotate the thumbs down and in. Rotate them all the way out. And do that a few more times. And hold with the palm up position. Sweep the arms a little higher. Inhale a little higher. A little more if you got it. On the exhale, relax the arms beside the body. Pull the shoulders up. Draw the elbows back. Nice. Now, make some little fists. Pull them up beside the chest. I have my thumbs pointing up the sky, just like Cisco Libre, 2 thumbs up. Draw the hips back, lean somewhat forward. This is a supported, spinal supported position. So,
Hollow out the belly.
I'd like you to hollow out that belly. Keep it active. Draw the elbows back a little more. Try to squeeze those elbows together now. And then when you're ready, push the hands forward. Open the palms to face the sky. And back to Kirsten's favorite exercise.
I'm going there.
Draw the elbows back, trace them around the ribs, pull them all the way back, sweep, push forward, forearm to forearm, palms facing sky, serve it up a little higher, and then sweep, trace, pull, 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 extend, all the way up, serve it up, higher, pull, through, back, all the way, and then one last time, forward, push, serve, high, and then bring hands over heart. Come up to your kneeling position, and then I'm gonna use my hand to help assist, because that knee's a little bump for me. I'm gonna step the right foot forward. We have two 90 degrees, 90 in front, 90 in the back. That's how it works when we're like this in this position. Whether you like math or not, that's the reality. Gonna keep this nice long spine, but we're gonna let the arms drop and fold. We're dropping the hands to the inside of that right foot. We're going to take the left heel and drive it towards the earth and take the left knee up off the earth. like we practiced earlier, that ball, or that front big toe, the right foot, is connected to the mat. And now I'd like you to take the right heel and pull it towards the left foot. And then bring that to relief so that the ball of the big right toe is feeling more pressure. And now pull with the heel, relax, and pull, and relax. Take the left knee back down, step the right foot back, come up to a kneeling position, however you can get into the same on the opposite side. Make sure you've got nice separation in the legs so you're not toddling or teetering. And when you're ready, drop it down. Make sure we got that connection to begin with, and then we're going to activate. Left heel pulls. And then relax. And then left heel pulls. And then relax. And then left heel pulls. Keep it pulling, keep it pulling. Pull, pull, pull. And then relax. Step that left foot back. Separate the knees about hip width apart. We're back into a bear position. And then we're going to take the chest and push it through the arms. I'm going to hold on this down here, and then we're going to draw the hips backwards ever so slightly. So just the hands are slightly forward. There's less pressure of weight in the arms and in the hands in particular. I'm going to hold on this spot and take the right hand onto the back of the head. And then we're going to take, and before we do this, I think what happens a lot is that people's body like to do inherently what's weak, or go to the weak spot, which is the hips pushing to the side. So I like to try to keep the hips square as we take the right shoulder and open it to the sky. So there's no shifting down the body. It's just a rotation through the spinal column, upper body wise. And we're going to lower back down and bring the elbow all the way to touch the thumb. And then we're going to sweep back up. Rotate the shoulder up. Make sure those hips are in check. Elbow down to the thumb. And then sweep back up. Make it higher this time if you can. And then return that right hand to earth. So everything's all squared up again. We're going to go to the opposite side, because opposites attract, right? Now, open. Sweep down, elbow to thumb.
Does the right
Sweep
elbow
back up.
bend or stay straight?
Keep the right elbow straight. Good question, Kirsten. And then sweep back up. And then down. And then one more time, up. Rotate it up a little higher. And then relax it all down. Great job. Pull the hips back, walk the hands forward, child pose. Let's flip the toes so that the back or tops of the feet are touching. And then drip, 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 drip back. Get that nice opening over the front of the ankle. Over the front of the ankle, sorry. I'm gonna keep that microphone in. All right. Let's come back up. And elegantly transition onto your backside, if there is such a thing. All right, I'm going to come down onto the mat. We're going to extend the legs all the way up. Yeah. I'm going to bring the feet about hip width apart. And then we're going to step the heels in just an inch or two, just ever so slight, just to put a break in the knees. Now, I'd like you to take your low back and feel what's going on. Does it feel like your tailbone has got all of the weight in it? And if it does, I'd like you to kind of hollow out your belly and see if you can get more of a skin sensation, a touch of that lower back area connected to your mat. Once you've got that, I'd like you to kind of use the muscles that gave you that sensation and keep them active, keep them taut, right? Taut, not taunt, taut. So And we have this, we're gonna add on, progressing this, we're gonna turn the thighs into touch, the big toes are gonna follow because that's just the way our lives work. And with all of that connected with that internal rotation, I can make sure that that low back is not really seeing much of depreciation in the sensation that we started with. Take the back of the head, make it longer now. So that's the neck getting long, and then broaden out through the chest. So we got a lot of stuff going on. Eventually something's going to get disconnected, but I want you to try as best you can to keep everything that we built from realized. We don't want to lose anything. We want to add to it. Now, squeeze the thighs together, let the arms just fall beside the body. I got to hold the mic, so I'm not going to do both arms, just one. And then try to make the chest a little prouder. And really what we're trying to do is just try to externally rotate the shoulders, just try to not pull the back off the mat. We're not trying to lift up with the chest. We're just trying to widen out the shoulders. So if you feel the back lifting, it's kind of contrary to what we're trying to accomplish with this exercise. And then relax that squeeze, let the toes turn towards the sky. Take a breath or two, and we're going to progress this more than we already have. So you did what Kirsten did. Step the legs out, that's fine. We're going to step them back in. We're going to rotate the thighs together. Toes are going to come along. We're going to make sure we've got that pelvic tilt, if you will. Create the sensation of touch all the way as best you can, or as much as you can, that spinal column connected to your mat. Now, widen out the chest, which basically means take your shoulder blades and try to like pin them. Your shoulders are trying to pin to the mat, if you will. You're going to keep the arms beside the body, but now we're going to cup the fingers so that the tips are touching.
What about the arms? They on the floor?
Well, if your tips are touching, your arms can't be on the floor. You're doing this right. Oh, that's interesting. Then you've got to rotate your shoulders back a little more. In any event, moving on, squeeze the thighs, squeeze them hard, harder. Try it, do it some more, push harder. Push the fingertips in, and now push the heels in, and see if you can kind of create more activation. Those inner thigh muscles, do they kick up? Good. Squeeze, push, squeeze, push, release. Let the toes rotate towards the sky. So this time I'm going to step my legs out. I'm going to point my toes, and I'm actually going to take my arms above my head, and I'm going to stretch 2 points. Center of the body, out to the extremities, toes and fingers, pulling opposite directions from the center. Take a big breath in, and as you exhale, let's step the feet in. Let's lower the chin in towards the chest. We're going to pull the back of the head up off the earth. Now, a lot of the times when we start this, old habits die hard. So let's just put the head down. And before we lift up, I'd like you to hollow out the belly and see if you can get the spinal column, as much of the spinal column as you can, touching your mat. You'll feel the skin. I want you to have that sensation. As you hollow out the belly, then we're going to lift the back of the head and drop the chin into the chest. So now we're in a crunch. How do you like that? Let's extend the arms out. And see if you can kind of get your fingertips up to touch the knees. And then lower back down slowly. So it's just kind of like the upper spine touching. Now, sensation of back, still realized. And one added thing is I want to make sure that you're not just shifting the shoulder forward to get the touch of the knees, because that's kind of cheating this. We want to engage more of those muscles known as the rectus abdominis. So we're going to reach forward and without shifting the shoulder forward, try to lift with the chest plate a little higher. You can see this is a lot of work for me too. And then we're going to lower back down. And now that we have the muscles cued, let's do this a few more times. Up, higher, and then lower, and then up, higher, and then lower. Notice how I changed my voice? Yes, bad humor. Up, higher, 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 and then lower, and then relax that. Extend the legs all the way out, Pilates style. Let's extend the arms all the way back. Sweep them up over your chest. Drop your chin into the chest. As the back of the head lifts, we're going to come up vertebrae by vertebrae. This is a little more challenging because we use those muscles doing those crunches. Let's dive it down. Let the fingertips dive between the feet and extend out. Let's hold on this. Feel a nice stretch through your hamstrings, hopefully lower back also. Take a couple breaths. And then when you're ready, come up to a seated position. In our staff pose, we're going to lean nice and long with the upper body. I'm going to draw out and hollow out through the belly and proud out through the chest. Let's take our arms and extend them forward, palms facing the sky. Beautiful. Now, lean forward and raise the arms a little higher. There goes this. And then lower the arms back down. Draw the elbows back, trace the ribs, pull all the way back and through, and then lean in a little more. And then extend the arms out as you continue to lean all the way forward. Inhale, raise. Exhale, keep the lean forward. Trace the ribs with the elbows all the way back. Squeeze the elbows this time. And then push forward. Let's make sure your neck isn't compressing. This isn't a neck compression exercise. Raise the arms and then draw, trace, pull, squeeze, decompress the neck. Push forward, up, raise, fingers pulling forward. Shoulders have shifted forward. We got a nice forward orientation. Everyone loves to round forward, everything right where we need to be. Come back with the elbows, trace them back, squeeze them together. Come back into an upright staff pose, put hands over heart, and then one vertebrae at a time, lower it down to the earth. Oh my goodness. Now, step the left foot in, plant that foot on the mats. Take the right leg and rotate the knee after you place the heel or the foot, I'm sorry, right foot on the left thigh, and take the right knee and open it away from the body. Take a couple breaths. Now, a lot of funky stuff can happen. It's more from destabilization. So if your low back has found a place off the mat on the left side, the spine is not really being stabilized here. So I'd like you to kind of make sure that you connected both sides of your pelvic girdle with the mat, and you're using muscle to keep that connection, that touch, that sensation realized as you try to rotate the right knee forward. And then let's switch sides. This external rotation is facilitated by the muscles, not pushing with the hand, making sure we're keeping the spine nice and stable. Also, if that belly of yours is protruding, I'd like you to kind of suck it in. Keep it engaged. Keep that spine stable. And then come back, lower that so both feet are now on the floor. You're going to pull the knees up and into the chest, bring the forehead up to meet the knees, and rock and roll slightly. We're not coming to a seated position. We're just kind of loosening up something. Our back. Now put both feet back down. Take the right leg, cross it over the left. Use the right leg now to pull the left leg and left knee towards, you notice the word towards, not on, towards the earth. So I'm going to roll up onto my right hip and have that left knee still floating above the earth as I extend my left hand to the sky and then reach it directly backwards this time. So we're going to pull with that left arm all the way along that left side, while I remain with a little bit of pressure on my right hip. The amount that I roll over, sometimes people will roll onto the socket, and that's kind of painful. So I kind of keep the muscular portion of the right side as my weight bearing part in that right hip. Just a hip. Reach that arm a little longer. Now begin to dial the arm, like you're going to sweep it like an arm of a clock down as close to the earth as possible without killing your shoulder. Just get a nice opening. You're going to sweep it all the way down to that left hip. You can rotate the arm inward, outward, whatever it takes to kind of get it down, and then rotate it, sweep it all the way back. Reach far behind. Imagine there's $1 million prize if you could just get to it. And then relax that back onto your backside. Switch up your legs. Switch up your legs, lady. All right, now opposite side. So we're really kind of hinging on the ball of that left foot and the heel of that, sorry, right foot I meant. And we're drawing close to the earth. Find that magical spot where you're sitting on muscle and not on bone. Let's take the right arm and reach it all the way back. Big emphasis on all. So we're not just hanging out. We're actually physically trying to reach for an imaginary something. And we're going to hold on this for a couple more breaths. And then we're going to bring some movement. Let's begin to dial the arm. Slowly. First one done loses. Oh my God. Oh my goodness. Why is this so hard? And then dial it all the way back. My goodness, as we change where the weight bears in our body, you can feel some of the muscles of the hip interacting. Now reach, 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 reach. $1 million prize. Can you get it? Go for it. And then relax everything, run back onto the back, extend the legs all the way out, point the toes, sweep the arms back, pull in opposite directions, the center of the body pulled out by the fingers and toes, and then bring the arms up. Pilates styles, up we come, back of the head lifts as chin drops into the chest, giving up one vertebrae at a time, diving it down. Beautiful. Let's just hang out here. A lot of times I get asked to do balance things, and the irony is that balance isn't necessarily practicing how to stand on a leg solely. Balance is really curing the imbalances that we have that make it hard for us to balance. And the exercises we've done over the years we've been doing them are to facilitate better use of the muscles to affect better balance for you. All right, as we inhale, come up to a straight back, staff pose, if you will. Let's take the right foot and step it inside. Now this is going to be a nice,
for me.
it's a nice opening exercise, or stretch, if you will, for that right inner thigh. And I have my left toe, and I've got my left foot flexed. It's off camera a little bit. So I'd like you to kind of take the toes and flex the foot. And then we're going to kind of walk the hands down beside the leg, one hand on each side of the leg, just walking forward. See how low you can go. Sing to new lows today. And then let's walk it back up. Extend the right leg. Bring that left leg back in. Where you position is all relative to flexibility and other things going on with your hips, but just find a spot for it. And then left and right arms, one on each side, walking forward and lowering down. A lot of times our body gets into acceptance of being in a certain spot, but we can actually achieve a little more in terms of mobility in our joints by allowing ourselves just to go that extra little bit of distance. That's a philosophical way of saying, see if you can lower down a bit more. And then walk it back up. And extend that leg back out. Pilates style, one vertebrae at a time, coming back down onto the mat. Pull the knees up and into the chest. And then we're gonna gonna wrap our hands around the kneecaps and pull the forehead up to meet the knees, and then rock and roll forward to back. And I'm gonna come all the way up onto my feet and just basically walk through single-handedly, of course, because I got the mic in one hand, onto my feet. Now I'm gonna come into a forward leaning position, so I'm folded down. Find yourself there. See if you can work with a relatively straighter leg now. We vascularize with a lot of blood flow into those hand knees. And they should be able to achieve a little more length. Let the upper body relax a little more. Let the spinal column just kind of lengthen out. And extend to a flat back as you inhale. Exhale, bend both knees. Power it up as you stand tall, sweep for the sky. And then bring hands back over hearts. And let me thank you for your great participation today. Everyone have a fun day Sunday. Namaste.
High five, Sue.